This is John from Options Trading Pilot. We're at the end of November, right after a large sell-off in the market on the day after Thanksgiving. So we're going to take a look. Market hasn't opened yet, but I do want to cover a few things before that, and I'll be probably heavily trading this afternoon when the market does open. So big sell-off, almost 1,000 points in the Dow at one point. The big news is the Omicron variant. So it looks like Amsterdam has closed their borders. South Africa, Israel, Morocco, all foreign tourists are no longer allowed in. They're trying to decide if the current variant is going to be harmful to the population of the world, so the market sold off. Where do we think we're going to go? It's difficult to know, I guess, sitting right here. The different governments are taking proactive steps to mitigate risk. If that's good or bad, I guess we'll find out as time goes on. We've had a lot of other variants. Maybe this one is different. Very difficult to know. So let's get into this. It's always difficult because I have my opinions and I know which way I want the market to go, the way I'm invested. And I might have to change that up this week if we see any more big downtrends. So first, before we get started, you all know this, but we're going to mention it again. Our disclosure statement, anything we say here is not investment advice. It's just for educational and informational purposes. That's it. So services that we provide, again, we have the daily trade subscription. We being Guillermo and I, a business partner, we trade stock options, commodities, cryptos of all types. We trade those almost every day, all day, and we post out our trades in real time, and you can follow along. You can laugh at us, or you can trade along with us, depending on your risk profile and your trading style. But what we try to do is provide mechanical entry and exit points, and a mechanical way of trading options, stock options especially, but those can get carried over into commodities. So that's what we do. So optionstradingpilot.com. We also have a YouTube site, Options Trading Pilot. This is probably where you're watching this now, unless you're on one of the social media sites. So I'm going to start off with, and Guillermo will be on shortly. Earnings season is pretty much over, but I do want to look at a number of areas. This, oh, you know what? I think I'll start with cryptos. Let's do that, because that's something that is pretty interesting. I've liked cryptos for done it for about 12 years or so, and there was just really Bitcoin. If you look at this is very interesting. If you look that the whale holdings, these are people that have over 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoins, they're actually been, and this is updated through Friday, they're actually buying, net buyers of Bitcoin, even with the down move. Now, if you go over and look at the small, or say the young hands, the people that do not have very much, they were sellers going in. And it looks like at the end of the day, they started to buy as well. And so I'm kind of looking at that. I am long crypto. We'll look at a few of those. Cardano, this has been, everybody wants to own Cardano. If you look at a chart, it's really fallen out of bed. Cardano right here at 150. Maybe a little bit. I wouldn't go very heavy, but I'll go a little bit into it. I do all my crypto trading, commodity trading on Tasty Trade. I'll put a link in the description of the video. I don't care where you trade it, but if you I like it. If you want to trade it on Tasty Trade, click on the link and you can get right to it. So this is Cardano. I might be buying a little bit of that this week, but I do not want to catch a falling knife there. Solana is another. I'm liking this here. It's right around 200 or so. I'm kind of liking this one as well, so I'm looking at that at 200 and kind of looking at around the 320 mark to as a top level. So let's jump over to the Tasty Works network. This is the platform that you see. Now this is one stock that I've been watching quite a bit. This MSTR, not doing very well. But again, I'm looking at that right there. Some of the interesting things from the weekend or from the Friday, the VIX was actually up 27%. So as stock market goes down, the volatility goes up. And you can see here, we play this so often. Right now we're long volatility, so we did very, very well in this, and it's a great hedge. So we'll have to be watching this. Now, if the market does turn around and go up next week, you'll expect VXX to go down, volatility to go down. TLT is another that we trade quite often, up and down. Last Friday, it was up almost 4 points, which is absolutely huge move. We saw many, many things out of the standard deviation. I had closed my short trades right in here a couple days before, let's say earlier in the week, maybe Monday. And I'm glad I did because these things exploded higher. Now, a lot of these, this is soy. I'll click on these. I don't know if these will load. All these are volatility, inflation, cryptos, corn, which we play quite often, has had some big up and down moves. Gold is down. GLD really, I was hoping for a little bit pop there, but that has really fallen out of bed again to back down to these levels. I don't think the inflation story is done, so I'm still long on some of these. Copper was down huge, and then some of these ETFs that I've been liking quite a bit. These are commodity ETFs, the PDBC and the DBC. They're heavily weighted in oil, crude. And so that's why I think those things have gone down quite a bit over the weekend or over the week, because crude itself was down around 12%. And one other one that I have been watching in the crypto space is this SPLK. They invest 80% of their investment is in companies that trade or invest in crypto. So this one, you know, again, I'm looking at this around at this level. Now, Ethereum is something that, again, we trade quite a bit of. I was looking at 3,900. If it's below 3,900, there's really no support. It's a long way down on support. But you can see right now, this is up $195. This is real time. These trade 24/7. We're at 4,200 level. I think that's a real good sign. Anything above 39, I'm pretty bullish. And you can see it had a sell-off into last week right here, and it's recovering nicely. I'm still looking for about a 6,000, 6,100 level in Ethereum. Over in the crypto space, I'm still liking the Doge coin. That's moving up a bit tonight. This Polkadot, we'll see. I own a little bit of that. I have not been happy with that position. Usually especially with cryptos, if they're higher than their first half highs, so the first half highs that they made through June of this year, if they're higher than that, I'm usually pretty bullish. Polkadot has not kept up with that market. So these are some of the big things I'm looking at. It's very interesting. Over the weekend, I was thinking more about this, and I'll just slide this in. Just a little crude view of a standard deviation chart. And I find that most of my life, I try to stay within one standard deviation of the mean. And so when we talk about that, and this is, I trade like this, I live like this, I can argue almost every position on one side or the other, let's say the left or the right. And I have opinions like everyone else, but I could argue both sides of most things. And I think that keeps me more in the middle on a number of positions, politically, financially, risk levels, and things like that. And so I try to stay within this one standard deviation, which is 68%. That's a pretty wide area. Now, a lot of times when we trade, especially if we're doing naked trades on earnings that are in high volatility stocks, we might go out to 3 standard deviations. So we're way down here in the tails, maybe at a 5 delta, 6 delta. That's the percentage chance that the stock would reach that point by a certain date. So a lot of times we're trading way down here. But in general, we trade a lot in this one standard deviation, and that's where we really try to live and trade in that area. So what we saw over the weekend, and especially towards the end of last week, was like, here's crude. Well, that's a huge down move in crude. That's not your typical move. It's way out of what was expected as well. Let's see if this will even might not show what I want to show, but here we go. So you can see the one standard deviation is right here around 58 to about 80. That's your 17-day one standard deviation, and then your 2, and then 3 is out even further in the tails. So I will see what happens with the with this new variant, and we'll be watching that closely. Honestly, I hope it's not very very big deal. I hope it does go away. We've as a globe, the country and the economy of the world has really suffered. So I'm hoping this is just a little bit of maybe a little too frayed too often, but we'll see. So looking at some, you can see Ethereum's up. That's nice. This is not all my positions. This is just a few of the things that I'm watching. I did take a long gold, silver, platinum position. That is not working out for me. This is a Euro futures, and that's working out. This is my dot trade, only down $18, but it's not something that I'm really excited about holding. So I did a little SHIB Inu about a week ago, and not really much going on there. It's just kind of held its own. So that's what I'm looking at this week. Some of the stocks that I did over the weekend, or I keep saying that, I'm sorry, on Friday. It feels like a very long weekend with Thanksgiving. I got heavier into PayPal long. I think PayPal has really been hit hard. That's probably an understatement. It has done nothing but go down since earnings, and go down again and go down again. It's sitting at like 187 right now. I still think that a recovery back into the 230 range would be expected here. I don't see it going down much more from here, but I've been wrong before. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a recovery to about 230 on PayPal. I also got long some IWM, wide, Russell 2000. I'm looking at DIDI long. And some other smaller stocks, but those are the main ones I'm looking at right now. IBM is fairly interesting too at these levels, so I'm starting to look at that again. The IV rank is still nice. It has I think it has not, this is where earnings were, and it just continued to go down. I think we could see a little bit of Fibonacci retracement back to 126, 128 in that range, just as the market's been relatively weak. So that's it for me this week. Lots going on. I'm excited about this next week coming up. Trying to live within that one standard deviation, and I noticed on Friday, the fear and greed. To me, that one standard deviation methodology in life, it keeps the fear out, it keeps the greed out. Friday, a lot of fear and then a lot of greed. So I knew for myself, I kind of backed away from trading because I don't want to be fearful and I don't want to be greedy, because both of those, for me, produce the wrong kind of trades. They're emotional trades. And if I stay within one standard deviation with managed fear and managed greed, I find that my trades are mechanical, my mind is clear, and I'm not doing anything on emotion. I'm doing it based on the best facts I have in front of me. So if I start feeling greedy or fearful, I tend to back up and let those emotions get put in check. They're put in check. I'm ready for another week, and I'm pretty excited. I hope the futures, which open in about a half hour, I'm looking forward to those. I hope there's some recovery. I think Friday was overdone, but we'll see. Going into this week, the variant is the news. So how the news goes on the variant is how the market will go. So good talking with you, Guillermo. Up.
Okay, welcome again. This is Guillermo, Options Trading Pilot. John just went over a few things in the market, and he's been on point, especially on the crypto. So I would be listening to that. But overall, yeah, one of the key things that I want you to know is that when we discuss these things, it is so that you can get ideas, that you can learn how to trade, how to invest, and most of it, this is skewed to options. Options are very, very risky. So if you don't have a lot of capital and you don't know a lot on how to do this, then basically what I want you to focus on is learning, right? And so take this as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to do the things that you want to do. So overall, just take that opportunity and go from there. So just getting started on our weekly update and things, how see how things went and how we think they're going, how we might do the trades. But I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to review a few of the earnings that are remaining here. So I'm hoping that we're more right than we were last week. Last week was really like a lot of negatives. So here we go. Let's see. I got to make sure this is recording here, share. And so, again, I went through the favorable industry aspect here, and it looks like it's still natural gas. It's the banking industry, semiconductors, and oil. You can see transportation's coming in there. A better look over here is the airline index is catching up. So Friday was kind of amazing. I plan to not trade or do very little trading and I was hoping I could get to do that. And I saw the futures market was already down 1%, like around 2 in the morning. And I was like, okay, gonna have to trade. So we made some really nice trades, some of which I didn't end up putting on our Discord. So you can join our Discord, but we did some other trades that were very good. The Moderna trade was actually a really nice trade that hedged out all my longer term positions that really took a hard hit, but I still believe in it. It's like oil, you know, it's like if you believe that oil is going to continue to go down just because they said they were going to open up reserves, that's a short-term thing, right? Long-term, we're printing a lot of money, and I understand some people will like correct me on like we're not actually printing and there's other ways. All we know is that M2 stock money has risen significantly, and the things that we usually use to hedge those things out, those aren't working, right? Gold and silver, if you look over the last few years, they're actually at about the same price, slightly lower than they were in 2011. So I'll just caution you on trading those. That's one of the few things that I've actually lost on. And so now I'm trying to catch up by doing more scalping, more short-term trades on those than holding them longer term. But overall, as you can see, gold and silver is like moving into that area where it's moving into that leading area, right? When we go back, this is the leading area. And so, yeah, I do believe in doing some trades on that. You can see all the other ones that are hot. Natural gas as our leading sector. We talked last week. When we talked last week, we were down here and it looked like it wanted to go down, but it found that bottom. And then we saw it rise. And of course, it came down with everything else. We didn't break back on this. I like using the 513 just to kind of give me an idea. But it does seem that we have a strong support right here. So we should see it angle up. There was a rejection at that bottom price. So it would probably be a good idea to go long on some natural gas areas. This is the SPY long term. Obviously, it doesn't look as scary as it looked on Friday. We are still bullish. Obviously, in order for things to continue to move forward, they always have to come back a little bit. It's kind of like a coil, right? You have to like push that coil down in order for it snap back up. So we do anticipate really nice upswing here, and the futures markets are proving us right with that now. Here's the daily. You can see 2.23% lost. We lost at 513. If you're a strict 513 trader, that means that we should be out of the market and hedge out, but we didn't do that. It was a shortened day of trading. It was me being a skeptic, right? It's like the COVID news on a Thursday evening. I think it was like Friday morning. I forget when they come out, and all of a sudden the overreaction. I do feel it's an overreaction. So we have the infrastructure bill. That's a slow burn. We talked about that last week. So we do anticipate a general inflow of money into the economy. And so new money, right, and in a periodic way. So we're going to continue using that as the bellwether for our inflation. And really, we can't sit around with cash, right? We can't do that. We'll lose value because of inflation. So we have to, unfortunately, we have to take the mantle and take the risk on. So this is the daily, the VIX, nice increase. We did have some trades on the VIX that were really nice and it did well for us. And then Boeing, I have a very good friend that trades Boeing. I like to trade Boeing. It's one of the stocks that I like to follow often. I feel like we're in this aggregation pattern here, but we should see a nice jump up. It went way down here, broke the previous support. So the question is, how's it going to react? Obviously, with the general market and the futures going up, we should anticipate it snapping back up here. But this was very curious, right? Because that was a huge reaction we saw here. I mean, that's a huge gap down. So part of trading is like seeing, hey, is there going to be a backfill from here? And I do think that there's going to be a backfill to this price. So we will probably jump aggressively. This is on my watch list for the morning as far as options trading. So this would be something, it won't be a one-day trade. It won't be a scalp likely. I think it's going to be a long-term trade. For when I say long-term, it's going to be a few days. So here's what we saw. That's November 26th, sorry. Yeah. Last week, this is what we had talked about, right? We were expecting this downturn, and then we saw that continuation pattern down to the support level, and then keeping that down. And then Tesla, right? Why Tesla now? Well, this company, it just continues to go up, and you can see the fast movement that we experienced here, and then having come down, and then another fast pop up, and now coming down. But I think it's here to stay. It's here to trade it. You just got to become really good at how to trade it. And so I can go over those clues if you join us at optionstradingpilot.com on our Discord group. You'll see I do enter some trades in there, and more importantly, you can ask us questions directly. Get educated. We'll be uploading educational videos as well. But overall, the idea is that Tesla is a company that now, with the new infrastructure bill, like supplying the whole EV network, and they're the #1 leader in EV, right? And they'll continue to gain traction. And I understand as a fundamental, I used to be a hardcore fundamental investor, where I did discounted cash flow analysis. I used the Warren Buffett methodology to deal with that. This stock does not fit that. So obviously there's the potential what may happen in the future is the whole reason why this is trading this way. The P ratio on this is pretty outrageous, but overall, as far as a trading vehicle, and more specifically better as a scalping vehicle, this is very good. So we'll keep watching that. Now I just want to go over some earnings trades real quickly. I try to pick one per afternoon or sometimes in the morning. And so I try to look at things where the way the options are pricing things out are probably less than what the average move is of the stock. So that's what I look for, at least that it's close. So if we look at, see what's the best one right now. I'm not seeing the implied move. Implied move is tough on Sunday evening sometimes, but these are all in the morning. In the morning, it's Lee. Just so you know, Lee has a high expected average move. The implied move is lower. But we can't enter that trade unless you wake up at like 7 in the morning. So let me find something else, a name that I like. EDU, I think EDU is the only one that I'm somewhat familiar with. So I've traded EDU before. That's what I mean to say. So let's look at EDU. Let's see what the charts are revealing to us. So this is the daily. Nothing has happened in EDU. 223 just died. It was way up here and just died. 4 hour, any movement on the 4? No. 1 hour. Sorry. Did I do 1 hour? That's 1 minute. Obviously, it moves more in the minute part, but we don't trade on that. The 1 hour, that's what I wanted to see. All right. All right, we see some movement here. We can make some money if it moves like that. 15-minute candles. You can see we are generally bullish on the 15-minute candles. General step down, but okay. I mean, this is one of the ones that if you trade it, you kind of don't have much to lose. I mean, the 2.5, it's at 223. It's going to cost you about $7.50 for each contract. I mean, you could just take a risk. This is one of the things when I talk to people that tell me that they played the lottery, I just tell them, I can show you stuff that has better odds. And this is one of them. So what if a stock, right? A stock that has gone from a high of, this is the 5-minute bar. Okay, so it hit this high up here. Sorry, you can't see it there very well. Anyway, you get the idea. It hit like 20 something, which is crazy, right? It's now $2.23. Obviously, we understand the reason behind this, and so it's just everything was driving up. But you can get that for $2.23, and in fact, $7.50 per contract. It could run. I mean, right now we're very familiar with things just running. So why wouldn't you take advantage of it? So anyway, I would move forward on this, and I'm probably going to take a few contracts on that. Let's take a look at ZS. ZS looks nice. Yeah, ZS has let's take a look at ZS. Here we go. With everything, it took a nice dip on Friday. Let's try to get a feel. That's not where I wanted to go. Let's get a feel. What's happening? Its high was 376, and now it's at 336. Quick downturn. And that started happening on the 22nd. Wonder if there are any news. ZS of something impending. These Taylor binds these not. Nothing significant, right? Yeah, see on the 11/24, Deutsche lifted the price target to 400. So from 325. Yeah, I mean, this is an expensive stock, so it's not like you could take a flyer on it. But let's see, the daily broke the 513. It did inch up a little bit. We're right below here. It could drop all the way down to here real quickly at 279. So what's my point here? My point is that is wicked right there, sitting right at this support point on the 1 hour. And let's look up how we were traded. Is somewhat at a support. So yeah, so this is for Tuesday, right? Tuesday afternoon, we would be trading this. And so the question is how you would trade it. So 11:30, you can do December 3rd options to keep it inexpensive. And so if the expected move is higher than the implied move, gosh, I mean, you can do a straddle on it and see if it's going to move way past your point on both sides. So you'd buy and sell at the same price. So you could do a weigh or strangle where you buy in two different numbers. That gets expensive, but you can do a debit call if you're bullish. I think I would lean bullish on this one given its price action. So let's look at the price action a little more carefully in the daily. Obviously, like everything's getting skewed because of Friday. Gosh, hard to tell. What are we looking at here? That negative, it's bearish. I mean, we're coming down on the RSI. This is a tough one. Given how much money is in the market, and obviously, like I'm just tend to be bullish right now because the market is bullish. So we'll go with that. Let's see the following day on Wednesday. Let's get a good one. It looks like, since I'm holding SPLK, let's take a look at that. SPLK has been not very friendly to us. It's almost getting to my bull put that I haven't looked at it. I did trim just because of the risk level, but it might be forming this rounded edge. So I'm not going to be adding to that trade. As you can see, I'm a soft bull here on this one, but yeah, not very easy to really fly with this one. I would just pass on that one if I didn't already have the trade. All right, well, I think On Thursday, just know Dollar General is coming out with earnings. Dollar Tree came out with earnings, and it really went up. So let's just take that's on Monday. On Thursday, I don't want to go over morning ones just because you won't be up. Sitting at support is driven up nicely since October. Nice run up. We're sitting right at the support. I would expect it to go up. Let's take a look at Friday afternoon. There's only one, so let's see. Looks like big on Friday morning. Big up on a time. One of my favorite stocks to trade. I traded this one often. Nice. Wow. Okay. Look at what happened here on Friday. Actually went up on Friday. Interesting. So big has close to the average move as the implied move. Big lots is kind of like a less expensive retailer, given that we're in Christmas time, given that the money that's come in and the checks that people are getting, then that demographic would buy in big lots. I would expect big lots to do really well on their earnings call. Might be a good idea to pick up a trade or two. The implied volatility currently on December 17th are 75, which is really high. We should be selling options on this one. We could get very bullish on it. I have to make sure. So the expected move is 6.4. The safest trade you could do is like at 37.5. That's really far. 649. Yeah, you'd have to be at 40 is the one that might pay you at all. Let's see. Yeah, 40-20. Not a bad ratio. So you can max profit 40 and it could cost you 210. So you could do that bull put and then maybe pair it. I like pairing those types of things and kind of double dip a little bit, but you could go a little bit out of the money. This is probably a 20 deltas over here. Do this one for like 40-50 bucks. So for each one you sell here, you buy one of these and you kind of make your trade almost, not very expensive. So anyway, that's my review. I just wanted to go over a few things so that you can look at the market and what's happening. Obviously, as the day goes, if you joined our Discord, there's many other trades that we look at and that we go over every single day. I trade pretty much every day, all day. So I write in the ones that are there. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week trading. Let me know if you have any questions. Find us on the comments down there. Subscribe and like us. It'd be great. And if you're more interested and see some of the things that we do, then come visit us at www.optionstradingpilot.com. You guys have a great night.